Hi, folks. Rick Wagner here. Let's launch our dragon boats across the seas of culture and politics for a minute again. I've got quite a few little things been bothering me this week, and one of them I wanted to talk to you about. I actually made a shorter video of this for another platform, and I'm still upset about it. And that's this idea that oil prices and gasoline prices should instantly track one another. Something about the White House this last week and Jen Psaki. I'm sorry. Psaki, Saki, I don't know what it is. Big Red. I can't, whatever. I hate it that I find her so personally annoying because she's so supercilious. And, if she had a longer nose, she'd look down at twice as much at us. I mean, it's like the idea that she has to ask questions that we yokels out here, what do they need to know this for? And here, I'm just going to throw an answer out there to you. It's not really an answer, or I'm going to defer something else. I defer you, I refer you, this and that. That's not an answer, you know? And so there's so much of that. So that's bad enough. And I feel badly about feeling that way on a personal level towards somebody that I find them irritating. I'm sure she would find me extremely irritating. It's probably a contest. I might lose. She might find me more irritating than I find her. It's possible. But here's what happened this week. They had this chart up, and it was a chart of oil prices. And I can't imagine somebody actually spent time making this chart of oil prices, right? Right. And they're at a certain level. And then, oh my gosh, they went down a little bit. By the way, they went back up again. It's kind of a daily thing, but the tendency is up. They went back down a little bit, but gasoline prices are still high. Why was that? Why, my golly, we know why. Profiteering. That's right. They're gouging people out there. Those oil companies, those rich oil barons, you see them driving around all the time, don't you? Those top hats, they have a monocle on, driving around in probably a 1935 or 37 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. You see them on the street all the time. Yeah, that's what she thinks. I'm afraid that's what she thinks. I sort of came up with a new term for that because I wasn't sure, are they lying? Because statistical manipulation like that, or the appearance of manipulation like that, is so out of character with reality that it really it starts to nudge the door open to a lie. Or are they just stupid enough to believe that? In which case they're idiots. And so I came up with the term lidiot. And I like the term because it lets me split the difference. You can either be one or the other, or you could be both. You could be lying about it, but even though you're lying about it, you still don't know enough about it to be effectively lying. So you're both lying and an idiot. So there's a lot of variation in there. It's actually a pretty broad spectrum. But in this case, it's especially annoying to regular people. People that build things, make things, do things, have just a tiny bit of idea about what's going on in the world and how things happen. Because most of us know you don't pump gasoline out of the ground. Gasoline is made up of petroleum distillates and products that is made predominantly from oil. But a barrel of oil doesn't come out of the ground, jump into the oil, 55-gallon drum oil, and then you just pump gasoline into the car. That's not how that works. And everybody, I think, knows that. Maybe they don't know that in Washington. I have to say, I've heard them say some things off the podium at the White House that makes me think maybe they really don't know. Maybe this is all a horrifying effect of some sort of, air conditioning problem, something that's growing in the air conditioning there in the White House, or I guess the heater at this time. And it's just infected everybody. And their IQ has been lowered to like about a 12. No, that's unfair. It's a double digit. It probably starts with a 6 or maybe a 7 in some of them. And then it's a 1 or a 0 afterwards. But so I might be being unfair to them. It may be an organic problem. Let's assume it's not, though. Let's just assume that they figure we're too stupid to know the difference, and they're too important to find out how it actually is being done. The Lydiot thing. You cannot immediately get gasoline from oil. We all know that. And has there been gouging in the past in the sense that they've been slow to pass on savings to us? Yeah. Is that probably what's happening now? No. 90% of it is just the fact that the oil prices are bouncing all over the place. And here's another little thing is, look up the last time somebody built a refinery in this country, an oil refinery that makes gasoline and other petroleum products out of oil. The last time somebody let you build one of those in one of these states? It's been a while. So it takes a while for that to happen. I mean, not only are we not being able to drill anything, pump anything, transport anything, we're not even able to refine it in any kind of timely fashion because we don't have enough refineries. So that kind of stuff just is, it's just in your face. And we just shouldn't take it. I mean, I don't think we can do anything about it per se, except vote them out. Somebody that wants to, trail along and try and feed you that is sending you the message that I'm either too stupid to know the difference, or I think you're too stupid to know the difference. I posted something on the website at politicalviking.com, and it's an old quote that, and I'm not going to remember it correctly, but it's they're lying. You know they're lying. They know they're lying. They know they're lying, but they're still lying. That's what's happening now. And so if they're willing to traipse along behind these kinds of ridiculous statements, then you got to get rid of them, because they either are too stupid to be in public office, or really should not even have driver's licenses or be able to run power tools like just a regular hammer or something. They should be kept away from that. Maybe they should give like a little foam hammer, Nerf. Nerf is about as far as they should get with this. And if they do know the difference, they're telling you, they're just flat lying to you. And, it's not the noble lie either. It's just to get elected and make you blame somebody else for all your problems when it's really them. So I just feel like that those kinds of things, even though they're sort of throwaway, are really indicative of how you're thought of by a lot of the politicians, and not even just progressive Democrats. Sometimes Republicans do it too. We've seen a lot of that this week. We have Lindsey Graham out there bouncing around, telling people, oh, we need to assassinate Putin, this and that. Okay, fine. I'm sure that makes you feel, like you're doing something. There's a lot of people who think they're doing something by hashtagging, showing flags of Ukraine, things like that. That's not really doing anything. I mean, it's nice to show our support, but, we've got a country now where we think that a hashtag is somehow going to change everything. Remember under Obama, when the Boko Haram group had kidnapped all those girls, and the big thing was hashtag free our girls. I mean, I think the Obamas even put something like that out. I mean, if that's what you think is action, then I don't really know what to tell you. It's like thinking that Twitter is a poll of most Americans. Maybe you want to believe that because they say things that agree with you, progressive Democrat, but you're a fool if you do, because it's not. And well, these are all signals. These are indications of what people we've put in public office think of us. I think a lot of them have thought these kinds of things about us in the past. I don't think this is a new thing. What's new is that they're not afraid to let you know. That's the thing. It's not that they think that you're foolish and they can run right over you, or they can trick you, or anything like that. It's that they don't care if you know. They, on the one hand, think you're dumb enough to where you'll believe it. And on the other hand, it's that, so what? That's just right in your face. That's the difference. They used to at least to pretend, remember? Oh, I have family values. I'm for all these things. This sort of the campaign promises, I'm for everything good, but I'm against everything bad. Wasn't real complicated, but at least they tried to reflect what they thought were family values. Now we have Hollywood and, well, television that can be a lot of places. Remember, a lot of what goes on in Hollywood and TV and stuff, how they're in favor of raising wages and the unions and this and that. They do spend all their time to avoid doing that, right? They make their films in Vancouver and Montreal and places like that aren't union, because they want to make them cheaper. But nevertheless, we're seeing this whole conglomerate work together out there now. And they discovered that, hey, instead of reflecting values, because that's what happened years ago. Movies, they tried to reflect the values of people who were going to go to the movie theater. They didn't want to offend anybody. They thought that, it should reflect the values, and sort of people had aspirational ideas about things. I aspire to be something, and I'd like to see it represented on the screen. someone that has, that has moral fiber, that does the right thing. The people that do the wrong thing, something bad happens to them. There's winners, there's losers, and they should win and they should lose. All those things, of course, went by the wayside. And they discovered that, hey, wait a second, we don't have to reflect values. If we are just heavy-handed enough, and we all do it, and we just push and push, we can start changing the way people think about things. And if we can just get control of enough of the media to where if you complain about that, we can brand you as, a nationalist, a racist, a transphobe, whatever is the flavor of the day. And sometimes it's a Neapolitan. It's 2 or 3 flavors. They can be all sorts of nasty things all at the same time. Some of them are actually mutually exclusive. Doesn't stop people from calling you that. So when they discovered they could do that, now they think they can shape opinion, and to some extent they can. They're certainly able to shape our ability to communicate. We see that through the tech companies and so forth. We've surrendered that, by the way. This is our fault. We've given away how we communicate. We don't think we can communicate with one another unless we post on Facebook or have an Instagram video or something like that. We all have them to some extent. I have it in my business. I mean, I have, this account, this and that, but I don't try and limit myself to thinking that if I can't communicate this way, I can't communicate. There's a lot of people that, if this all went down, they didn't have their phone to look at all day. I don't know what would happen. I think that'd be medicated, immediately medicated, perhaps put on a cot in a tent someplace and maybe, tied down because their phone was out. They would go crazy. So where does that leave us? It leaves us right on the cusp, doesn't it? We realize that now. I think the move has been a little quick. I think they've shown their hand too much, and they've really shown it with Biden. They were so desperate to get rid of Trump because the things that Trump did got rid of all these things. I mean, for one reason or another, he didn't like them. He was a populist president. And think about that. A New York billionaire property developer is the person that relates to middle America, and the guy working with his hands, driving a truck, fixing an air conditioning unit, doing the hard, real work in this country, that he's the one that related to that. That's really, really pretty interesting. It's a little bit like Ronald Reagan, a millionaire actor who seemed to connect directly with American people and understand what they wanted. You never know where these people are going to come from sometimes. It's fascinating. And so I think they showed their hand a little soon. We talk about this all the time. I'm sure we'll talk about it again. Maybe they gave us enough warning that we can do something about it. November is coming. All right. We'll see you guys soon.